on the one hand, a very exciting time when a player in Najee Marshall has his two-way contract converted to a multi-year deal. You're excited because a player who's done all the right things and has carried himself in a warrior-like way, in a true battler's way, creates opportunity for himself, and he sees the opportunities that our team gave him. Obviously, being shorthanded like we were, Najee played far more minutes than he otherwise would have. And I think what you've seen is we have a definite rotational piece in a young man that is willing to run through fire to win a basketball game, and that's exciting. It's exciting for Najee that he's set himself up in the way he has. Didi Lozada signing previously is another really exciting thing for us as a franchise. It was 2 years in the making, working very closely with the Sydney Kings. Their front office and their coaching staff has been remarkable to work with. And we think the results in Didi's growth and development as a player are staggering, quite frankly. And we're optimistic that he's going to be a focal point of our team and a key rotational piece moving forward. Unfortunately, given the injury situation we have, it might need to be much sooner than later. But again, it's exciting when a player like Didi, who has gone through everything he has and taken the steps he has to ensure his own development, is rewarded in the way he is. So again, part of what you love about what we do. Tonight, unfortunately, we just released something that's very frustrating, and it's not part of what you love about what we do. In the Zion Williamson news regarding his left hand. Obviously, Zion is left-handed, so it's a fairly significant situation for him. I'm really frustrated because this was avoidable. We told the NBA through every means available to us, through sending in film, through speaking to everybody in the officials department, everybody in basketball operations, that the way they were officiating Zion was going to get him injured. And quite frankly, he's injured now because of the open season that there's been on Zion Williamson in the paint. He has been absolutely mauled in the paint on a regular basis, to the point that other players have said to him, "I'm going to keep doing this to you," because they don't call it. So there is more violence encouraged in the paint against Zion Williamson than any player I've seen since Shaq. It was egregious and horrific then, and the same is true now. I'm particularly disappointed in myself and our organization. We did a very poor job, apparently, of explaining in the proper sense of, with the proper sense of urgency, how severe this situation was from a league perspective. That's my fault. This situation is very much something that should have been able to be avoided if we were protecting our players in the way that we should be in the league. And this just was not done. So, again, I'm very disappointed that he's not going to be available here for the foreseeable future anyway. But I'm more disappointed in us, quite frankly, that we weren't able to bring the appropriate sense of urgency to the league conversation around the way he was officiated. Brandon Ingram continues to work his way back from a left ankle inversion sprain that he suffered in the second Warriors game. I think many of you saw him leave the game. That injury is going to sideline him indefinitely. He's continuing to try to progress to play. Brandon, similarly to Zion, is a player that is willing to do anything to play and to support his teammates. Zion has been playing with an injury to his other hand that every other player I've ever been associated with would have had surgery already and shut themselves down. And he's a player that wanted to be available to his teammates so badly that he played through an injury that, quite frankly, nobody else would have played through. And what reward he got for that was injuring the other hand in a way that didn't need to happen at all. And in order for him to even bring it to our attention, it would have taken something akin to getting hit by a truck. And for him to bring it to our attention, I'm grateful that we found it and we could avoid any serious injury. But with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Hey, Griff, with the injury to Zion's left ring finger, when did it occur? When did he raise attention to you guys that it was hurting him?
He brought it to our attention prior to our departure that he was still experiencing soreness in the hand. Aaron Nelson and his team sort of rallied to make sure that we got the imaging necessary. I'm very grateful that Ochsner was able to get him through the process and the timing that they did to reveal the injury. I believe he probably suffered the injury over a period of time. It's a striking injury, and it's a blunt force injury. So he was being beaten on the hand over and over and over again. So for me to tell you one time, I don't think I can do that. I don't think he knows one time.
Hey, what's up, Griffin? This is Will. How much has this dialogue been ongoing with the league? And we can sense the frustration with you. I guess what's their message been to the team as far as how he's been officiated?
So it's been ongoing throughout the year. I've had multiple conversations with multiple individuals that run the officials, individuals that run basketball operations. We've sent in film. So throughout the year, it's been an ongoing situation. Coach has actually had his staff sending in clips as well in an effort to protect Zion throughout this time. So it's been an ongoing effort. And again, I want to be clear, Will, and I appreciate the question. We failed. We did not protect him appropriately. We did not make the message clear enough because this was avoidable.
Hey, Griff, it's Andrew. I know you said it's hard to kind of pinpoint an exact issue, but I do remember him coming out in that last game. He subbed himself out. I think it was in the second quarter. Comes back to play. Do you think that might have been, for lack of a better term, the breaking point of when it happened, or is it something that just...
Again, in fairness, Andrew, I can't say that. I don't think he could say that. It's an accumulation of a ridiculous amount of contact that players were making him aware they were doing on purpose.
Griff, one of the things that Stan has talked about all year is guys who play the game the right way, who don't flop and fall down, they don't seem to be getting rewarded, and the guys who do flop aren't getting rewarded. How frustrating is that from y'all's perspective that seems to be the case?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think we have a problem as a league right now, and I think the league, to their credit, is aware of it relative to the imbalance in terms of the way the game's officiated. There's an enormous advantage for the offensive players that do a particularly good job of drawing attention to their contact. Unfortunately, the way you do that is in an abnormal way. You do that through unnatural acts. Again, guys, I'm sure you can sense how upset I am. Zion does not have a technical foul all year. He was doing exactly what he was taught to do in terms of honoring the league's rules around decorum. He was respectful to officials. He was having conversations with officials using the language that the head of officiating told him to use. Brandon Ingram has met with the same director of officiating and had the same conversation, and Brandon continued not to get calls. People will tell you that it's a youth thing. They will tell you that it's a reputation thing. It's asinine is what it is. And when kids are getting attacked in the way they are, and in particular Zion was, this type of thing is going to happen. And I feel to some degree there is an I told you so element